Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another Minecraft video, and in this one we're going to be doing something just a tiny bit silly. For those of you who don't know, I really do love my redstone. I can't get enough of the stuff, I use it pretty much every day, but there are a few redstone features that don't get used quite so often. I don't know if that's because people aren't aware of them, or perhaps they don't really know how to use them, but all I will say is they're looking just a tiny bit unloved at the minute. So what I thought I'd do is this little video showcasing all of these unloved redstone features in the hope that maybe they could just make their way back into the hearts of all of my viewers. However, I'm not particularly convinced, especially with a few of them, so let's crack on and I'll show you what I've got for you. Feature number one is of course the locking repeaters. Now these were all the rage when they first released, then suddenly they appear to have dropped off the face of the earth. For those of you who don't know, if we power this repeater here, then power this repeater running into it, you can see that repeater gets a bit of bedrock going across it. And that means that that repeater is locked, it cannot change state no matter what happens on this end of the repeater until of course this repeater is unpowered and then it can do whatever it likes. Now this can come in handy in a lot of redstone circuits, I just always seem to forget that they exist, which I know sounds awful, but that's the truth. Next up, we have got the weighted pressure plate. Now this was introduced alongside the hopper, the dropper, and the comparator, and I'm going to be honest, that was a bit of a tough act to follow, and unfortunately, I think these guys got left behind just a little bit. But we've got the heavy pressure plate, and then we have got the lighter version, and if we start chucking items down on top of this thing, you can see that the signal strength is proportional to the number of entities on top of the pressure plate. That being said though, there is some slightly strange behaviour here, and that is the fact that when items stack together like this, it counts as one entity, meaning that it only gives a signal strength of 1. So if you start adding other entities on top, you can see the signal strength increases, which I suppose could be useful, but to be honest, I can sort of understand why these things are unloved. Oh yes, the comparator, that little thing that allows us to detect items inside of storage units. Yes, that is a killer feature of the comparator, but it's not the only one. Of course, it can compare redstone signals. Now this isn't true for all of the Minecraft community, I see a lot of the technical guys using this all of the time, but sadly for your average Joe who's only just got into redstone, yeah, you don't see this sort of circuit popping up particularly often. And I have a feeling that's because some people don't fully understand how the comparator works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bunch of links down in the description explaining everything you need to know about this little fella so that you can use it to its fullest potential, because trust me, it's super useful. Bit of a loose definition of the word redstone here, but we're going to be rolling with it because the furnace minecart is something that I personally have never used in Minecraft, and it's something that I actually had to look up how to use. So what you do is you power it using coal and then it's powered. There we go. Just for a little while, and then you power it again and there we go. It travels off. I don't really know. I don't know what to say about this one. I'm sure some of you can find a use for it, but currently I'm just sat here scratching my head. And finally, we're going to be taking a look at another unloved redstone feature, and that is, of course, the Cauldron. What? The Cauldron? That sounds completely bonkers, considering the Cauldron isn't actually in this little menu here. But trust me, the Cauldron is one of the most important redstone features in the game right now. And I'm going to explain my reasoning here, because first off, the Cauldron has got 4 different power states. We've got a signal strength of 3, 2, and 1, and 0, depending on how full the Cauldron is. Already, that's pretty useful. But moving on from that, the Cauldron can be moved by pistons without interacting with any redstone around it, and it can only power comparators, as you can see right here. Straight away, that's pretty cool as well. It can be moved upwards by pistons, which is super useful, because as you can see, if we push this up, it powers this comparator. If we try that same thing with this redstone block here, when we power this piston, yeah, that block is not going to be coming down, that's due to buds, so straight away, that's absolutely awesome. And not only that, it can take power through blocks, a bit like a redstone dot does, which once again, absolutely epic, and seriously, this is one of the best features in the game in terms of redstone. Now I'm going to be honest with you guys, that final thing that I featured in today's video was probably a little bit of a loose definition as well. I mean, for 2 reasons. First off, it's not strictly a redstone feature, but number 2 is because the people that know about it use it all the time. Seriously, I see this popping up in a lot of redstone circuits, but for the people that don't know about it, which is quite a lot of people, then that is going to come in super handy. So I hope that you found it enjoyable. I hope that you loved all of the unloved redstone features that I featured in today's video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.